experience out on that floor in front of us, Brent. Your career spanned 14 seasons. Talk about how you saw the game differently as a veteran player versus the first couple years in the NBA.
Well, I saw it from the bench, quite frankly, as a veteran, Kevin.
Now, wait a minute. Now, hold on now. I know that's not altogether true.
I think the game just slows down. You start to understand that there is a tempo and a rhythm, not only to any given quarter, but any given game and any given season. So it's really, Kevin, about the idea of it slowing down. And I did sit on the bench towards the end, Kevin. That is true.
A little bit.
14's still a good number.
But it turned out well for you.
Well, I get to sit next to you.
Well, it's a lot of fun. You're right. It's a lot of fun. Here are the 5 for the Clippers. Ivica Zubac is out there with Mo Harkless. Then it's Paul George. Then there's Kawhi Leonard. And it's Beverly in at the point guard position. And the technical free throw is good.
And, boy, what a year it was for Derrick Rose. And the sea of fans hoping that he would get back to what he once was, as he was electric.
Now here's Brown. And Drummond kicks to Rose. Pistons passing it around. 6 on the shot clock. Here's Kennard. The shot, no good. And the Clippers will go the other way with it. And for Rose, so many had written him off, but he was a huge factor for the Timberwolves.
Rose still has a tremendous passion for the game, and it really shows on the court. His renaissance last season was one of the better stories in our league.
Now here's Rose. Paul George unable to get his shot to go. Brown finds Rose. Here's Kennard. And here's Griffin, defended by Beverly. Now here's Rose. 11-point game his last outing. Fires from 14. Here's Drummond. Shooting foul as the whistle blows. He'll shoot 2 free throws.
Selected 9th overall in the 2012 draft, Drummond's carved out a nice NBA career for himself.
The Pistons have shot just 1 free throw earlier. 1 for 1 in the game.
And on the season, you know, they're hitting about 76%, which is a decent rate.
First one falls for him. And he makes both free throws.
And thinking back to last postseason, the Clippers did not back down to the Warriors at all.
Well, LA was a much more physical team. I think they knew going in that the only way that they had a shot was to be disruptive, and they brought that on both ends of the floor, and that was going against a healthy Kevin Durant at the time. They took 2 games last year in that series, and the way in which they played, that spirit might have caught the attention of one Paul George and one Kawhi Leonard.
And Leonard gets it to go on the assist by Beverly.
And the offense sort of works itself out to a lot of mid-range shots, and Kawhi getting dangerous from that spot.
Pulls it from 20. Leonard with the steal. Beverly against Rose, and he banks in the layup.
What awareness there from Kawhi, waiting for his teammate to break free and then finds him.
The Pistons have gone 0 of 3 from the field to start the game. Outside Griffin. Drummond in the post. Zubac's defending. Second shot opportunity, and the rejection by Zubac.
Yeah, trying to get going here, but that's an offer for the first 5 here to start the game.
Fouled on the shot and picks up 2 points, so 1 free throw coming up.
Now, the early years when Paul George came into the league with the Pacers, you wondered how his frame would fill out. It's filled out nicely.
Mind the lane. Mind the lane. One shot.
throw good, Paul George. Well, Brent, you look at the explosive numbers George has put up. A lot of it has to do with how he runs the pick and roll.
Incredible at his size and his ability to read the defenses in pick and roll situation. Anytime there's a defender that decides to go under on Paul George from the perimeter, he can let that thing rip from the three-point line. Last year, I think you saw him with the most poise that he's ever played with in his career. I expect that to continue.
And this is right around the time when one team might start to pull away.
Yeah, this team is looking to add to the lead, trying to put the other team away, and threatening here.
Now here's Griffin. A 24-point outing in their last game against Atlanta.
Maybe that's the separation, right, Kevin? His skill at his size and then converting through contact. Such strength from the big man.
Here's George. 6-point game. Good. George has got 9.
Well, if you're giving up that much height, the only thing that you can do as a defender is to foul him.
Beverly against Rose. Pass to Kennard. Back to Rose. Griffin looking around. Three-pointer. And he's good on the three ball. Griffin's got his second bucket of the game to go.
Well, Blake Griffin hitting this, it's going to reset your defensive strategy. You've got to rush out to him because he can be a bit streaky from out there, and it's working.
Now, here is George. No good off the back of the rim. Rose against Beverly. Rose in the post. He's been putting up the points on a very steady basis, averaging around 17.5 points a game. And George with this stuff.
Well, on that kind of move, Paul George is such a great scorer. He can stay in control, even at full speed.
Now the pass to Griffin. And the rejection by Zubac. And that one goes out of bounds. Last touch by Zubac. Detroit needs to get off a shot here. Just 2 to shoot.
In building this lead, they've done a terrific job finishing their defensive sequences with the backboard. That has been key.
Up top, Leonard. He's covered by Brown. The shot from the low post is good.
Oh, this is the kind of start they were hoping for.
Now let's go to the sideline and catch up with our Hall of Famer, David Aldridge.
Well, Dwayne Casey gave me a few minutes to catch up with him. He said efficiency is a buzzword around the league, and that's Kawhi Leonard. He doesn't turn it over, doesn't take bad shots. He can give you 30 and never force a thing. Kevin, that doesn't sound like an easy assignment.
Thank you, David. And even though he's been nagged by injury for a few years, Brent, Kawhi is still a top two-way threat when he's healthy.
Well, the fact that Kawhi Leonard could move on from San Antonio, get to that Toronto team that needed just an extra push to do something in the Eastern Conference, especially with the absence of LeBron James. Kawhi Leonard absolutely dominated last year's playoffs and took Toronto to a championship. And now, for the first time, he's had the choice to continue his career somewhere. He's going to do that back home in Los Angeles for the Clippers.
Early part of the season, Brent, did you take a while to get back in the swing of things, or were you ready to go out of the gates?
In order to stay in the NBA, Kevin, no, I could not do that.
Right, yeah.
I could not do that.
You played 14
I know,
years.
But I loved coming into training camp being in tip-top shape. It really was something I took a lot of pride in, is that I wanted to be going so that our practices for our coaching staff was something we could get through. Now, I understood the role of other guys on the team where it might take a little while for them to get going, but for my mindset and my confidence in the year, I wanted to make sure that the offseason and the work that I was putting in, because that's where players improved the most, I was going to come into camp ready to go. Really heads up there. A play where you locate the best open pass and then you get it there for an easy bucket.
Los Angeles leading by 9. And Beverly kicks to Harrell. Back to Beverly. Outside, George. Drops in the tray. George has got 14 points.
He has created some terrific opportunities for himself and really made the most of them.
Rose surveying the D. Gets that one to fall after missing his first two. 1 for 3 from the field.
And you love to see Rose aggressively looking to score on the inside.
Outside, George. Here's Leonard. Rebound, Detroit.
Those are chances almost always you can rely on him to get you 2 points, but the D just enough to keep him out of rhythm.
Now here's Drummond. Brown the pass to Rose. Back to Brown. Passes it to Kennard. Fires the three. He can't get that one to fall. Excellent D there from George. Leonard dishes to Harrell. Griffin with some nice D.
A lot of defenders choose to just back up off of him when he's in that tight, try to avoid the and one, and this time they're not backing off.
Now here's Rose. Drummond in the post. Harrell on him, and he gets the whistle. 2 free throws coming up.
Let's see some numbers here on Kennard.
This past month, he's really set himself apart. He's getting around 16 points a game, 4 assists, and 3 rebounds. And you look at the numbers he's been putting up, fantastic scoring production from him.
Yeah, hard to ask for anything more at this point. He's really stepped up, and he's really delivered.
The first free throw is good. So Detroit going with an almost entire new group here. Morris is checked in for Griffin. Doumbouya comes in for Bruce Brown. Langston Galloway's checked in for Luke Kennard. And it's Frazier in for Derrick Rose. So he hits 1 of 2 from the stripe. Last year, the average salary for a starting point guard, Brent, in the NBA, was the highest among all positions. Why would that be?
Well, with the way the game has changed, Kevin, there's certainly an emphasis on being able to find guys who are initiating offense, scoring the basketball, shooting three-pointers, and you're seeing a big shift in salaries between point guards and bigs. That's where the biggest disparity is. Centers in the league are getting less and less of an opportunity to have the extended big money contracts because the game has moved to the perimeter, and if you're a big that cannot play on the perimeter, there's not a lot of teams that are willing to invest a significant amount of their cap space into the center position. They want guards and wings who can play out there and do the damage from there.
Now here's Williams. What a tremendous game he played against Houston. Harrell, that's good.
Really seizing the momentum of this game, but doing it with a methodical approach.
Well, how good have they been on the inside tonight, just getting down into the painted area and just dominating, controlling that spot.
And now the first timeout called here for Detroit. Greg, I'm just so impressed with the level of finesse and craftiness that Lou Williams always plays with.
And Kevin, you don't stay a perennial 6th Man of the Year candidate at Williams' age without having more than a few tricks up your sleeve. He's so good in tight spaces and can find a way to get a shot up where others just have to kick it out.
Wood, he's checked in for the Pistons. Here we are in November, and let's see how things are going out east in the early season. You take a look at the Pistons. They've had a very slow start to the season so far, down in the bottom half of the conference.
And checking out Detroit, they're already looking to the offseason. And that's a shame. Their fans deserve a little bit more from this team.
The body language right now kind of telling the story. Losing takes a huge toll on you, especially during an 82-game grind.
Outside, George. Here's the three. Morris with the rebound.
Well, you have to like their work on the boards, Kevin, particularly here to start the game.
Frazier against George. Frazier outside. There's Galloway. He's still scoreless so far in this one. And again, it's the Pistons missing. And the foul called on Markieff Morris. That is his first foul of the game. Clippers leading by 11. Outside Williams. Pass to Green. And here is Harrell. He picked up 18 points in their last win against Houston.
Let's just not forget about the work on the glass, Kevin. His effort level was a 10 that night out of 10.
And now you see them starting to really work the ball inside.
Here's Galloway. He's guarded by Williams. 20 feet out. Galloway, no good.
I mean, I don't know. Does he look a couple steps slow today? He needs to shake that off and get into the zone and get on the scoreboard.
And they've had assists now on their last 3 baskets.
Pistons trail by 15.
They need a bucket in a big way here to regain some confidence.
Frazier the pass to Morris. Here's Galloway, guarded by Green. Back to Morris. Fades. Rebound by Harrell.
And they've come out with a take-no-prisoners approach on the glass here tonight, guys.
Nobody near Williams. Nailed from three-point land. Williams has got 5 points so far. Frazier scanning the floor. Over to the left wing. There's 39 seconds left in the first quarter of the game. Detroit, no good that time either.
Man, you get so caught up in the bravado of someone scoring on you and you wanting to even the score. Unfortunately, he couldn't answer back.
And their balanced effort at both ends has hushed this crowd.
All night long, in control of the pace, and you don't want to let go of that rope right now.
To end the run, it's hauled in by the Clippers. And this is their first time matched up with the Pistons this year.
And both of these sides were fighting tooth and nail for a playoff spot and split their season series at 1 apiece.
The feed to Morris. The Pistons shooting their 6th and 7th free throws in the game.
Free throws. Two.
No good on that one. He hits the second from the line. We're at the end of the first quarter, and what a blowout already in this one. The Clippers on top, just dominating this one. And back with the start of the second quarter in just a moment. Paul George had that nasty broken leg back in 2014. He describes what inspired him to come back even stronger.
My inspiration really came from my mother. You know, her dealing with stroke, her dealing with really being down and out. You know, I saw her fight back. That was enough for me. In my darkest days, I knew it was nothing to what my mom went through, and she came out perfectly fine, so.
Well, what a story. George worked hard to get back and is not disappointed in his return.
You know, recovering from a devastating injury is never easy, but George's perspective and commitment helped him to overcome it.
And welcome back to the second quarter of action. Plenty of basketball left to play, but this one has been one-sided so far. And a comfortable margin here for the Clippers, guys.
Well, their effort on the defensive end has set the tone for this game.
Yeah, defense has been infectious here as everybody stepping up aggressively on that end.
And now, brought to you by Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset our lineups. Setting the floor for the Clippers, we've got Williams. Green is out there with Montrezl Harrell. Then it's Paul George, and it's Mann in at the 1 spot. Okay, well, let's check in with David Aldridge, who's reporting from the sidelines.
Well, Lou Williams won Sixth Man of the Year for the 3rd time last season. He joined Kevin McHale and Detlef Schrempf as the only players to win the award in consecutive seasons. And with the most career points ever scored off the bench, maybe they should just name this award after him. Kevin?
David, I'm all for it. Thank you so much. And boy, is he in good company. Harrell, rebound, Detroit. They are coming off that win against Atlanta.
And in that one, the backups came to play, gave the team an infusion of points that just put them over the top.
Well, I talked to the assistant coaching staff. What they were stoked about is that the bench guys came in and played well. So punch off the bench, a big factor in that win.
4-on-3 break. And it's George finishing it off.
Pretty cool that Paul George came to the game on a rocket ship because he's on another planet right now.
Frazier outside. Pistons passing it around. Here's Galloway, and he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. Replay angles are interesting, Brent. Instant feedback on social media. Talk about the increased pressure now on referees to get every call right.
Well, so many times, Kevin, on nights where you're working games, you sit there for a minute and a half.
In super slow motion looking at the play.
And still sometimes hard to get it right.
Very hard.
What I think the league should think about doing with the competition committee is every team in the league should have 3 and 4 cameras that are mounted so that every time there's a replay at any given arena, they have access to the same angles.
For every game.
Every game. Where are most of the times these calls being missed? Where are these calls getting wronged? And how is it that we can implement some technology to help us not only get it right more often, which is the most important thing, but also fair and balanced vision for the referees to have an opportunity to do so.
What an excellent idea. And the Clippers making a change here. Leonard's checked in. Galloway hits both of them. And here in the second, 2 minutes gone by. Pass to Leonard. And that one clearly a foul. Gets the whistle, and 2 shots coming up. It's going to be on Sekou Doumbouya.
And we all know what a tough cover Kawhi has become. The defender got caught in a bad position and is kicking himself for it now.
This is his second trip to the free throw line.
And the free throw line was a problem spot for him in their last game. Really struggled up there.
2 shots.
And he makes the first. Well, you knew that Kawhi Leonard would be a huge name on the free agency market last summer, especially after winning his second finals MVP.
And Kawhi let the pieces fall before making his decision. Was the last major free agent to choose where he was going to play. Ended up shaking up the NBA in the process by joining the Clippers.
That one is no good.
You think about how quickly it was that Kawhi Leonard just rocketed into superstardom. And as a leader of a very proud franchise, if you're a coach, He's everything you've maybe wanted in a player.
And a better box out saves them 2 points there.
It didn't seem like anybody was really aware there to go and collect that rebound in the possession.
The pass to Harrell. Man, Frazier covering. Here's Leonard. And foul on the shot. He'll shoot 2 at the free throw line. It's going to be on Sekou Doumbouya.
Good scorers have that ability. When Leonard gets that deep, it's usually a bucket, a trip to the free throw line, or both.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
First free throw is good. A different look here for Detroit. Griffin's checked in for Christian Wood. Bruce Brown comes in for Doumbouya. And Derrick Rose is subbed in for Tim Frazier. Patrick Beverley is checked in for Los Angeles. Leonard hits them both. Second quarter of play with almost 3 minutes gone. Rose against Beverly. Rose kicks to Brown. Pass to Griffin. Over Green. Griffin's shot is off.
Well, that mid-range, Jay, usually pretty much on the money. Maybe the timing just a little bit off on that one.
Outside Williams. Pass to Leonard. Shoots over Brown. And again, no good by the Clippers. The Pistons have gone 1 of 6 from the field in the second quarter. It's been a rough period so far. And stolen by Williams. Leonard against Brown. Leonard with the ball. He picked up 24 points in their last one against Houston.
And they're forcing the ball inside, and it's working like a charm.
Outside Rose. Pass to Kennard. There's the pass to Griffin. Clock at 6. Over Beverly. They get it back. Goes up again, and he sinks the layup. And that's now 7 points for Blake Griffin.
Yeah, offensive rebounds are about effort, and Blake Griffin showing it there.
Rose against Beverly. With some arc, and the wide open shot from Green. Gets an open look and hits. Green's got his first points of the game.
How many times have we seen a possession like that from them today, ending with a basket coming off a pretty pass?
They've been looking out of sync offensively.
Yeah, their offense has ground to a standstill.
Leonard with the steal. He feeds it to Harrell. Over Rose, and it's the Clippers scoring again.
Unwilling to let up, even for a moment. That's his killer instinct, just fanning the flame.
Yeah, he's the guy that you want to go to right now, trying to put this one away.
Here's Griffin. Morris trying to free himself up. Griffin's shot is off.
It's a +5 advantage for them in rebounding after that one.
Here's Leonard. Again, Los Angeles.
Oh, you see the touch inside from Leonard does a little bit of everything for this basketball team.
The Pistons on offense. Outside Rose. Griffin down low. Guarded by Green. Griffin can't get it to go in.
Well, if he's going to keep shooting, they've got to run some plays for him. Screens, pick and rolls, anything they can do to get him started.
Williams passes to Leonard. It's hauled in by Brown. And so Brown will bring it up for the Pistons. Outside Rose. Great D that time from Green.
And the pressure he put on that shot forced the miscue.
Those are all the little things about effort there. He just gets out there and contests, and that's just enough.
Now here's Williams. 7 points in the game.
Looks like the game plan is they're willing to give him that kind of shot. It worked out for them this time, but if they give it to him again, I bet 3 points are coming, Kevin. Yeah, that's not an assignment that I want there, Kevin. I'd rather do math homework than to try and cover that guy.
Harrell up top. Back to Williams. From 12 feet out. And he tries off the glass, but it's no good. Now Griffin. 9 points in the game so far. Kennard, the pass to Griffin. And it's the Clippers with the rebound. Coming into this having notched a win against the Rockets in their last game.
Yeah, I think they prepared to face more defensive pressure, and that one didn't happen, and boy, they just rolled.
It took just a little bit of time, but once they figured out the D on that night, man, their offense was rolling.
Leonard's gotten half of his 10 shots to fall. 5 makes from the field so far. Now here's Rose. And there's the call on Patrick Beverley. That is his first foul of the game. Detroit making a switch here. Drummond's checked in. And then for the Clippers, Ivica Zubac has checked in for Harrell. And Maurice Harkless subbed in for Jermichael Green. Passes to Kennard. On the wing, Brown. He's covered by Leonard. Just 5 on the clock. And a bit of a battle here for the ball. The official signals a jump ball here. Detroit with the ball. Kennard's shot is off.
And they've got a big lead, not just on the scoreboard, but really in the rebounding numbers as well.
Here's Williams, and he lays it straight in. Williams has got 9 points.
Lou Williams still has some nasty handles. I love him busting out some of those tricky moves from time to time.
Stolen by Beverley. Oh, Leonard in position. Hammers the alley-oop through.
Yeah, you don't see many of these opportunities for this team, but Kawhi, one guy who can get up there and get it done.
Rose passes to Griffin. Over Harkless. Misses off the right iron.
The shooting numbers just aren't there yet in the quarter.
It's stolen by Brown. He dishes it to Griffin. Stolen by Beverley. Pass to Leonard. Inside, Zubac. And the dunk by Zubac.
Well-rounded effort, and they show no signs of letting up.
Coaching staff probably most proud of the effort of this team on both ends of the floor here tonight.
Here's Griffin. And the call on the shot that sends him to the line. And for Blake Griffin, always a great outside shooter for the power forward position, Greg, but he's added range the last few seasons.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Griffin go from a guy who might take 1 3 a game to someone putting up about 6 a night. The results have been there for him as he shoots a respectable rate from beyond.
2 shots. Relax on the first.
The first one falls. The alley-oop play, Brent, fan favorite. We love it as broadcasters. Who are some of the best lob partners in the game now?
Well, I think the last 2 years, might be 3 years, that the best combination has been down in Houston with James Harden coming off and finding Clint Capella at the rim and seemingly throwing it just about anywhere. What I'm curious about is in this year's combination in New Orleans and who it's going to be. Is it going to be Drew Holiday? Because on the back end
the
of
other
that,
end of it.
Zion Williamson probably would be pretty fun to put on this list.
Oh, my goodness.
And despite the size disadvantage, attacking the heart of that defense.
Yeah, no stopping him on that play. Sometimes even the taller defenders are helpless to stop him.
The Pistons have attempted 11 free throws today and converted 8 of them. Detroit making a switch. Woods checked in.
One shot.
The Clippers shooting an impressive 65%, having their way with this defense. Leonard draws the double. It's George on the wing. And there's the pass to Mann. 6 to shoot. And it's sent back by Drummond.
A high motor keeps Drummond engaged defensively. He doesn't want to let any shots go in.
Frazier outside. Here's Galloway. He picked up 12 points in their last win against Atlanta. And that one's good. Drummond.
A tall and powerful big. Drummond has a natural ability to finish inside.
Pass to Leonard. Shoots over Doumbouya. And the Clippers miss again. Pistons shooting a rough 22% so far in this one. Here's Galloway. He's been a reliable scorer for him as he's averaging up over 13 points a game. Passes it to Frazier. It's hauled in by Zubac. Zubac has got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight. Mann passes to Leonard. Gets that one through the hole, make him now 7 of 13 in this game.
Steady strides in Kawhi Leonard being more and more comfortable as the go-to scorer for this team.
Pass to Galloway. To the paint. Harkless with the steal. And here comes Leonard leading the fast break. Uncovered. Rebounded by the Pistons. Drummond's got his 7th rebound of the game with that last one. Frazier against Zubac. Frazier the pass to Drummond. He kicks it to Doumbouya. Sinks the triple. Doumbouya's got his first 3 points of the game. And here is Los Angeles now. Following this one, they get to host the Pelicans. That game is the first and last of their homestand. Lets it go with a 3. It doesn't go for him. Kawhi Leonard has been on display for Los Angeles. He put together quite a quarter, 13 points in all. And he looks to be planning for more. And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Thanks, Kevin. Kawhi, you have grown so much offensively throughout your career. What's the focus of that end of the floor?
Just knocking down open shots, my ball handling, making good decisions off the pick and roll, and just try to limit my turnovers.
And you've done well so far, Kawhi. Thanks. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, David. We'll be back after halftime for the start of the second half momentarily.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hey, welcome back. The first half mercifully coming to a close. I'm Ernie Johnson. Kenny's here. Shaq is here. Kawhi Leonard is having one of those nights. He ended up with 19 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 steals. The first 2 quarters went very well for him. And taking a look at the Clippers, Kenny, what did you see out there?
Who does a better job of playing to his strengths than Kawhi Leonard? Knows exactly where to get his shots from within the flow of the offense. One of the most reliable performers in this league.
Check. What'd you think about the Pistons?
Well, they struggle in a number of areas. Protecting the rim is really at the top of the list. They haven't made that a priority. They haven't put forth a whole lot of effort. You got to protect the rim.
And that does it for our halftime show. We now take you back to Kevin Harlan for the start of the third period.
And after a very lopsided first half, we'll see if things play out a little more evenly here in the second. Kawhi Leonard really has his fingerprints all over this one.
Definitely been challenging the defense here early on, not settling for anything outside.
Yeah, you want these kind of nights where you can start to see those openings before they happen.
And there wasn't too much drama in the first half, but maybe things will tighten up here in the second. And so it's Drummond with it. He'll bring it up for Detroit. On the front line, the talented duo of Griffin and Drummond. Kennard is out there with Derrick Rose. And it's Brown in at the threesome. That's the group for Detroit right now. And let's check out a breakdown. Looking at some stats for Leonard. For Detroit, they have been shooting right around 75% at the line, 9 of 12 so far.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
And the first one drops. That one misses, so he goes 1 for 2.
And with the success they've had rebounding the basketball, they're right where you'd expect them to be, firmly in the driver's seat.
Here's George. Solid shot from the distance of about 14 feet. George has got 20 points.
Well, his range goes out a lot further, but didn't need to on that possession.
And there's the call on Patrick Beverley. That's foul number 2 for him. So it's Detroit now, and Drummond kicks to Brown. Beverley against Rose. At the elbow, it's Drummond. Shot clock at 6. And Zubac with the block.
Just not much success when it comes to shooting.
To the inside. The shot by Harkless, no good. Pistons shooting a rough 22% so far in this one. Griffin down low, working on Zubac. And Drummond is right there. And that's a double-double for him now. 10 points and 11 rebounds.
Pursues the offensive glass with purpose. Drummond knows who he is, and boy, does he attack it.
Sure. There he goes!
You don't want to be jumping on a play like that. No. Wow, he was up there, Kevin. Paul George dunk contest? He's maybe a little older, but I love to see him get up.
Knocked away. Griffin finds Rose. He's looking for Drummond and finds him. Up again. It's hauled in by Los Angeles. Zubac has got his 6th rebound on the night.
1 of 5 here, Kevin, to start the half. Their offense looks like it's shrinking right now.
For Detroit, they've gone only 1 of 5 from the field since halftime. Very slow start offensively. Drummond working against Zubac. And the wide open shot from Rose. From outside, off the mark. The Clippers have gone 2 of 4 here to start the second half. Beverley looking around. Kicks it to George. From 12 feet out, he squares up and sinks it. George has got 6 points in the quarter.
Well, Paul George, understanding more and more his role on the offensive end of the floor here, knows what kind of shots to take, and that's a good one there.
Now here's Drummond. He's got 10. Yep, it counts.
And that solid play in the paint continues here, guys.
Leonard on the wing. The shot's good on the assist by George. George has got 4 assists in the game.
Yeah, I didn't think there was a pass available there for Paul George, but he spots that small crease, he fires the ball through it, and he gets it to his open man.
Now here's Rose. And the rejection by Zubac.
He is just really almost playing for the other team. The shooting has just been poor.
Well, it's the golden age of point guards, and Patrick Beverley trying to show that he belongs amongst them. Great awareness on that play.
And Brent, as you know, there aren't many players that can set a tone for a team, but Patrick Beverley is one of them.
And Patrick Beverley always embraces that role about setting the tone defensively on an opposing team's point guard, making sure that tonight, if you're going to beat the team that Pat Beverley plays on, you're going to have to go through them.
All right, let's catch up with our sideline reporter, David Aldridge.
Well, Kevin, in Blake Griffin, the Pistons have their biggest star in years, probably going back to their championship team of 2004. A return to all-star form for Blake meant tremendous individual numbers last season. And the Pistons hadn't won a playoff game in more than a decade. It's still not the result they want in 2019. The Pistons will be trying to capitalize during Blake's prime. Kevin, we'll see where this franchise goes from here.
We sure will, David, but he's a terrific player. Thank you so much.
Well, he's one of the more popular players in the NBA in terms of fan support. They just love Blake Griffin's charisma.
Markieff Morris is checked in for the Pistons. The Clippers also changing it up. Harrell, he's checked in for Zubac, and it's Green in for Kawhi Leonard. Blake Griffin hits them both.
And guys, one thing that has been interesting to see since Blake Griffin came to Detroit is how he's developed as a leader, has come into his own with how he takes responsibility for the team's play.
Big miscommunication on defense. He recognizes it and quickly takes advantage.
Well, I know they don't have mobile devices out there for texting, so they might as well talk to one another, Greg.
Rose can't hit. And with Griffin, you look at his time on the Clippers, and for most of his career, he was more of a second in command.
Coach Casey said last year early on that Griffin is the leader of this team, and Blake took it upon himself to step up to the challenge. Makes sense no matter how you look at it. He's their best player and needs to be one of the leaders.
And it's Rose, this time the assist by Griffin. Rose has got 5 points so far.
Yeah, you don't want to leave people open when Blake Griffin has vision of the floor. He exploited the hole in the defense that time.
Now here's Beverley. Taking a look at his stats, he's averaging around 7.5 points a game. Brown dishes to Rose. And the pass to Morris. Down low. Griffin against Beverley. It's hauled in by the Clippers. Beverley's got 6 rebounds in the game. And so Beverley will bring it up for the Los Angeles Clippers. Harkless kicks to Green. And here is Harrell. 8 points for him. Los Angeles needs to get off a shot here. Hits the three-point bomb. He has 5.
And you can't play too far off of Patrick Beverley, or this can happen.
Rose against Beverley. Pass to Kennard. Passes it to Griffin. Over Green. Puts the fadeaway right on the money. 14 points for Blake Griffin.
Well played, Griffin, with the right read. He turned that mid-range jumper into a strength.
Pass to Green. Dishes it to Beverley. Some nice ball movement by the Clippers. Harkless, the three-pointer off the mark. And, well, Detroit shooting just 33% in the second half so far. They need to look at more high-quality shots. Here's Kennard. Brown feeling it out a bit. To the middle. Over Harkless. Griffin's shot is good. Griffin's got 16.
The inside game of Griffin, very polished and superb at getting into a position where he can cash in.
The pass to Harrell. Buries it down low.
Now that's the kind of passing right there that makes a difference, not just in that possession, but maybe on your play for the entire game.
Now here's Rose. 5 points in the game. Passes to Kennard. Pass to Griffin. And then Griffin with the dunk.
And Griffin's such a special talent. He connects on those difficult finishes time and time again.
This is his third trip to the free throw line.
And his percentage at the line last season, right at the 75% mark.
Here's what Detroit's going with right now. Dumboy is checked in for Bruce Brown. Langston Galloway comes in for Luke Kennard. And Tim Frazier subbed in for Derrick Rose.
One shot.
And Griffin no good on that one.
Well, for so much of what Paul George brings to the table, you have to start with his defensive impact. He is one of the top defenders in the league at his position, if not the best.
Now, here's Dumboy. Following the miss by Lou Williams. Galloway, the pass to Frazier. He kicks it to Griffin. And the rejection by Harrell. And that's out of bounds. Detroit will retain possession. Christian Woods checked in for Blake Griffin.
Christian Wood.
Clock at 4. Here's Frazier. Excellent D there from Williams. You look at George with all he does, Greg, you sometimes forget how good his perimeter defense is.
Well, I mean, his teammates and coaches won't ever forget about the impact he has on that end. Even when George isn't scoring or the shot isn't falling, he is still a monster on the floor just with his defense alone.
Think about Montrezl Harrell and the type of energy and effort that he brought last year to this team to help solidify, I guess, most of the culture piece of what Steve Ballmer wants this franchise to be about. That's playing hard, playing with energy, and having some enthusiasm for the competition. Montrezl Harrell wraps all those things up pretty nicely in the way he plays.
That's good from Harrell. And Montrezl Harrell, Brent, beloved in the locker room.
Well, he's beloved because every night when you go out on the floor with him, you know what you're going to get. A guy who is incredibly competitive, passionate, knows his role, and plays with a physical presence that he doesn't shy away from anybody that's on the floor. That's infectious.
And both free throws good for Harrell.
The compliment that Harrell gets often is the fact that he's just so tireless a worker, and that energy is something that both coaching staffs and teammates appreciate.
+8 in the rebound differential. One more reason why they're in control.
Basket counts, and 11 points for Williams.
And obviously his momentum from the last game has carried over here tonight.
Yeah, and the coach pretty smart for zoning in on him and giving him opportunities to stay with that confident play.
Here's Galloway to the paint. Beautiful dish, and the layup goes down.
Fantastic ball movement. They're picking them apart with their passing.
Outside Williams. Shoots over Frazier. Williams can't get it to go. Pistons shooting just 28%. They are offensively out of whack and out of step with each other at this point. Wood. Morris trying to free himself up. Great D that time from Green. Man, Frazier covering. Floats one up. Morris with the rebound. And, well, Detroit shooting 37% so far in the third quarter. And they're not satisfied with this lack of offensive execution. A three ball. Galloway, no good.
Yeah, this has been a night where you could look at his shooting and his performance, and it's affected the team. That's the bottom line.
And George gets it to go.
And after really leaning on that three-point shot in the first half, seeming like they're just getting away from it here in the second. More of the shots coming from the interior.
Here's Galloway.
Clippers foul call. JaMychal Green.
These are his third and fourth free throw attempts of the game.
Gotta admire what he's been able to do at the free throw line this season. How about over 90%?
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
That free throw good from Galloway. Drummond's checked in for Detroit. And then for Los Angeles, Zubac is checked in for Green, and it's Kawhi Leonard in for George. Galloway hits both of them. Williams with the ball. 11 points in the game. With the floater. Gets that one to fall. That's his 6th field goal. He has shot the ball 12 times.
Yeah, it's pretty much unguardable there. You got to respect Lou Williams' ability to guide those floaters softly into the rim.
Here's Doumbouya. That 3 off the mark. And so it's Williams who brings it up for the Los Angeles Clippers. Stolen by Doumbouya. Galloway taking his time here. Frazier dishes to Doumbouya. Lobbed up there for Drummond. An emphatic alley-oop jam.
And when he gets himself into the right position, Drummond so powerful in terms of finishing at the rim. The only way to prevent that alley-oop is to keep him from getting to the launching pad in the first place.
It's good. Zubac has got 6.
Great use of the bounce pass. Thumbs down on that one, Kevin. Tough to defend against.
Here's Galloway. There's 48 seconds left to play in the third. The putback controls the rebound and puts it back up and in.
You know, we talk about it all the time, guys. Those second chance buckets, always the result of that extra effort.
Outside Williams from the arc. Doesn't go for him. And the Pistons now going the other way. Now here's Doumbouya. He's covered by Leonard. Wood kicks to Frazier. Here's Galloway. He's guarded by Williams. 5 to shoot. Galloway, the pass to Frazier. The Pistons working the ball around now. The dive for the ball. Off target from three-point range. Paul George, he's been the guy making things happen for Los Angeles. He's up to 26 points in the game now. Just keeps pouring in the buckets. We've got more NBA basketball coming your way in just a minute. Now let's take a listen on head coach Dwayne Casey.
All we got to do is move the basketball. The ball will find the right person. All right? Get it from side to side. Don't force it.
I think you can tell he wants his guys to work harder specifically in how they pass the ball.
I mean, it's just basic basketball. When you swing the ball around, the floor is going to open up.
And there may not be a lot of drama down the stretch as we head into the fourth quarter, but stranger things have happened. Taking a look at Los Angeles. They've got Patrick Patterson. Also, Ivica Zubac out there, and it's man in at the 1. Now, here's Doumbouya. Brent, when we talk about home court advantage, do you feel it's the same as it used to be? It has that same impact?
I do think it's still hugely important, Kevin. It's less important when there's a team that has been together for a long time and has proven that they can take their wares on the road and come home with a victory. But it absolutely gives you a level of comfort as a player to get into your routine, to be at a place that seems familiar. Something deep down psychologically helps every member of that team being at home.
Guarded by Robinson. 6 to shoot. The shot kept alive, and another shot, and the basket by Maker. Maker's got his first bucket in this one.
Well, superb length shown there by Thon Maker. He has tremendous will that time to beat the other guys to the ball.
Pass to Magruder. Just about 1.5 minutes gone by here in the fourth. Outside Robinson. Here's Magruder. Over in the corner, Zubac. Oh, good on the triple.
You know what, though? Sometimes you can be too open. I think it may have surprised him, and that's why he missed.
Doumbouya can't get it to go. For Los Angeles, they've gone 1 of 3 from the field to start the fourth quarter. Here's Patterson, laid in with a nice touch off the glass.
Well, Patterson usually on the perimeter, this time down on the inside, doing a little bit of damage.
They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've gone a long time without a bucket.
The pass to Mikhailuk. A lot of missing stats from the 60s and 70s, but if we could go back and look at those actual numbers, any players you think would really be catching our eye in terms of, wow, I didn't know that guy was that good, or he's better than I thought he was?
Well, don't we always look at the incredible, mind-boggling numbers of Wilt Chamberlain
yes,
and think, what was that guy doing?
Yeah.
And we don't even have half of it.
No.
So Wilt Chamberlain comes to mind first. What I think about, Kevin, when that question comes up is how many great players through the 70s and also really through the 80s, because the three-point line wasn't accentuated enough, missed the opportunity to be even greater scorers. I mean, Jerry West with the three-point line.
Can you imagine that?
You got to be kidding me. So there's a lot of gap of those players, too, that also, because of changes in rules and because the three-point line wasn't in, that we would be talking about in terms of nostalgia and their accomplishments with a much different voice.
Even someone as recent as Jordan, with the rules the way they are now.
Absolutely.
Unbelievable.
With the openness of the floor
Yes.
and what Michael could do, as if he wanted to prove he could do more.
Exactly. And here comes the break. Finished off the break.
And running with a full head of steam, but completely under control.
Yeah, you think he's comfortable at that speed? He's done it so many times before. Just an absolute blur in transition, and that helps get the rhythm going.
Here's Zubac following the bucket by the Pistons. 6 on the shot clock. Pass to man. Lets it go from deep. Rebounded by the Pistons.
Well, there's more he could have done in this game for sure, but it hasn't kept them from pulling ahead.
Here's Mikhailuk. It's hauled in by Zubac. Zubac has got the glass covered here tonight. 11 boards for him. Inside. Of course, Dirk Nowitzki spent his whole career with the Dallas Mavericks. We don't see that much anymore, do we? From the beginning to the end with one team.
No, but I think we're going to still occasionally have anomalies like we did with Reggie being in Indiana for the years of his playing career. Nate McMillan was in Seattle for his playing career, now coach of the Indiana Pacers. So there will be times where we'll have that once or twice. It's not going to happen very much, Kevin.
Not in today's
Not in
NBA.
today's game, and
Today's
not
sports.
with what's at stake.
Shooting free throws.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
And the first one at the line is good. Detroit making a switch here. Griffin's checked in. He hits both from the stripe. For Los Angeles, they've gone 3 of 8 here in the fourth quarter. Robinson left side. Pass to Magruder. Clock at 6. Shoots over Dumboya. And it's Magruder missing. Detroit's gone 0-3 so far in the fourth quarter from long range. Here's Mikhailuk. 2 free throws coming up, and they call the shooting foul. And the contract structure for NBA first-rounders, 2 years guaranteed, 2 years of team options, qualifying offer. Brent, should we consider changing that up?
I think it's working pretty well, Kevin. I think every front office is out there trying to find players out there that are giving you value beyond your contract. And that happens a lot when you're a team that has a first-round pick, 1 through 10, 1 through 20, and you hit on a draft choice. You potentially could get 3 years and sometimes 4 when you have incredible players coming into the league as their first year, changing franchises around. But a player that's providing way more value than the contract that they're getting at that time. So I don't see that changing much. It gives teams a long enough time to evaluate the talent coming in.
Seems to be working.
It does. And the players that prove it are looking at the calendar saying, could I fast forward 3 years? Because I really like to cash in on what I'm doing for you.
That one misses. It's been all Clippers. They've allowed just 7 points here in the fourth quarter. Robinson, that's good. Robinson's got 4 points this quarter.
That's a testament to the effort there on the boards. Never willing to give up on the possession, finding ways to sniff out the ball.
Now, here's Dumboya. Right side, Griffin. Count it from 12. Griffin's got 10 points in just the second half.
You can see that combination of size and skill, and Blake Griffin right now on a roll.
And 2 free throws coming up, unable to get that one to go with all the contact. A chance to check out Los Angeles' upcoming schedule. On Sunday, they'll be facing Drew Holiday and the New Orleans Pelicans. And then on Tuesday, they'll go up against Kristaps Porzingis and the Dallas Mavericks. And he knocks down the first one. For so long, the U.S. has been the country to beat in international basketball play. But there are some big-time challengers around the globe emerging.
Well, Serbia and Spain continue to be competition that the U.S. takes extremely seriously. And I'm not saying they don't take everybody that they step on the floor against with tremendous amount of respect. We know from years in the past that Argentina had its golden age with the players around Manu Ginobili and Oberto and Nocioni, but that seemed to be a timing thing for the Argentinian national team. Spain and Serbia will continue to be impressive and continue to push USA basketball in these international tournaments and Olympic play.
Well, the undrafted Rodney Magruder, Greg, has earned his way into the NBA.
It was 25 by the time of Magruder's rookie season. Has spent some time overseas and in the G League, but he's improved his game and has kind of carved out a spot here in the league.
And he makes the first.
We're still waiting for that first miss from the line this half.
That one falls, so he hits both of them. When people talk about a player's mileage limit, do you think total games is the most accurate assessment?
I don't think so, Kevin.
What is it?
It's the amount of minutes that the players play.
Yeah.
I mean, there are plenty of studies out there that teams are digging around on when players reach. And trust me, they got to be lucky, but you're talking 35,000, 40,000 minutes in the league, that the body is just not capable at that point of replicating the things that it's done year in and year out. So forget about the games. Go to total minutes played. That's where you'll find the biggest fall off for some of your favorite players that have amused and entertained you for years.
Interesting.
Pretty much not a player in the league is going to pass up a shot like that so much for the defense.
Pass to Cabangeli. And there's the pass to Magruder. And oh, he blocked it and deflects off the backboard. Another three for Detroit.
Yeah, there's 6 points on consecutive 3 balls. They're finding holes now in the D.
Passes it to Patterson. Count it.
I'm sorry, that's poor defense down low again. It's been a mismatch thus far in the paint.
Detroit's gone 2 of 5 on three-point shots since the end of the third quarter. Pass to Griffin. Not many players now signing shorter contracts in free agency. You've talked about this a lot. Does it make it harder or easier for the super teams?
Well, I think it makes it easier because all of a sudden a star player from another team becomes available that you could latch him on to somewhere else.
Any examples you could throw out there that
I don't want to get into the specifics.
Okay, I understand.
I think we've seen it over the past 3 or 4 years with some of our star guys. And
yes.
I don't fault them because they're getting smarter. Players are a lot smarter about what it is that they can do with having the very few times, Kevin, that you have a say in your career as to where it is that you're going to play, and more importantly, the potential for what it is that financially you can make.
And playing for a championship.
For a championship, for potentially the opportunity to play with somebody who you've always thought you could either elevate their play or they could elevate yours. This is not going away anytime soon.
LA has gotten off to an 0 for 2 start from downtown here in the fourth quarter. Pass to Cabangeli. Here's Magruder. The pass to Mann. In the corner, it's Robinson. Lets it go. Rebounded by the Pistons. Griffin's got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight. Now, Doumbouya takes the 3. And it's Cabangeli with the rebound. Cabangeli's got 4 rebounds in this game. From 11 feet away, Robinson misses. The Pistons shooting a paltry 33% in the fourth. Not a good showing for this offense. Unloads from 13. Maker. It's good on the putback.
They've cashed in on a lot of second chance opportunities here in the second half. That extra effort will help them cut into this deficit.
Now here is Robinson. Got a piece of it. Passes it to Doumbouya. That one misses. And the Clippers will come the other way. Brent, we have seen some players refuse to speak to the media. For whatever reason, where should that line be drawn?
Well, there is a role and a responsibility, I think, of every player in the league, Kevin, given that it's an entertainment industry and that people have jobs around this league to tell stories, to have access to those players. Now, every player doesn't want to talk or get into certain things, but their availability should be made and people should have access to them. Look, I don't want to take out the trash every Tuesday, but I understand I got to do it at home. And so players have a responsibility to their franchise to be a voice at times.
I always thought you were terrific with the media.
Well, I appreciate that, Kevin. Maybe that's how I got this job.
And so here are the Clippers, following the basket by Blake Griffin. Here's Mann. Detroit with the rebound. Jumboya's got his 4th rebound in this one.
And as we head to the final buzzer here, a crushing blowout, big-time dominance, and this will go in the record books as a gaudy win for Los Angeles.
As one-sided as it gets today, you know, there were some dominant moments in about every facet of this game for that team.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin, it's hard to think of what didn't go right for them. Game planning by the coaches, execution by the players, everything was just on target.
And it'll advance their win total up to 12 on the season.
And this is a great way for them to kick off this season series. 2 more games ahead, and they've taken the mental advantage with this win tonight.
The one player that really stands out, of course, in this one, it was a dazzling game for George.
Every time he shot it, it seemed like it was going to drop in. And if it didn't, everyone was surprised.
Detroit with the ball. The Clippers getting the bucket. Top of the key, Griffin. The rebound by Patterson.
And the effort never stops with him. No easy shots when he's on the floor.
Well, it's about the defensive end, and that's what guys feed off. He gives the effort down there at all times.
7-second difference, shot and game clock. And here's the fast break. Doumbouya, good.
They start that play with aggressive defense, finish with aggressive offense.
Well, a lot of times coaches will tell you that if you play great defense, you're going to get a reward. It was a good possession all the way around.
So the Clippers winning this one easily. This one was over well before the final buzzer. The fans were waiting for something to get excited about, Greg, but they never got it.
They sure didn't. I mean, they just rolled to this win. They made it look really easy. What an efficient performance at both ends.
It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Thanks very much, Paul. Congrats on the win. Where's your team's attitude right now?
Continue to, play together. And we can just stick to that, keep working, staying confident, keep defending, and knocking shots down. We'll be all right.
Looked like it all came together tonight, Paul. Thanks very much. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, great job. Thanks so much. Well, folks, that's going to do it for now. For Brett Berry, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan along with our 2K Sports crew.